All right, welcome back, Algebra 2 for the second video this week. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow you'll have your packet that you need to do. Make sure you turn that in tomorrow. Make sure after you finish that, you submit it. Either take pictures, send it to my email, submit it right to Canvas, or let me know if you're having trouble and we can figure out something. Other than that, comment on the video when you're done watching it. That way I can know you watched it. And I can mark you down as that you completed it. So, and then Thursday, catch-up day. Do any work that you missed. Friday, social-emotional day. Please reach out to social workers and behavior specialists. Meet with them. They get a couple times a day doing things. Also, some of the assistant teachers also have times to meet with students. I know there's a couple times that Miss Lewis has been offering up some support. Darian's been offering up some support. Mr. Ward's been offering some support. So if you guys are comfortable talking to them, a little more comfortable, please reach out. They would love to hear from you as well. Okay, so we worked with inverse functions yesterday. Today we're going to continue inverse functions, but we're going to look at them in table form and in graph form and see how we can manipulate the functions so that we have inverse functions, and see what the graph form and the table form, how they kind of differ a little bit. But let's take a look at learning objective. Students will be able to find the inverse of a function, and I probably should have added in graph form or in table form, because that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Let's take a look here. If point xy is on the graph f of x, then point yx is on the graph f negative 1x, meaning the inverse of f of x. So, example 1, tables. Given f of x equals 5x plus 2, complete both tables. So we have a function table and we have our inverse function table. Let's take a look at the function table. So all we need to do is plug these numbers in for my x value. So we have 5 times 2 plus 2, so 5 times negative 2 plus 2. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8. Then we have 5 times 0 plus 2. 5 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is just 2. Fix that. And then we have 5 times 1 plus 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. And then we have 5 times 3 plus 2. 5 times 3 plus 2. 5 times 3, 15 plus 2. 15, 16, 17, 17. All right. So here's my function. Here's my inverse function now. Now, as it said here, if point xy is on the graph f of x, then point yx is on the graph f negative 1x. My inverse. Here's my inverse. All I need to do is x and y values. Meaning, I take my y value, I put it where the x's are. So negative 8 was my y value here. I'm making an x here. And then my negative 2 was my x here. I'm making it a y. This one's going to be 2, 0. Because it's 0, 2. This one's 1, 7, so I'm making it 7, 1. This one's 3, 17, making it 17, 3. Easy enough. All we did was flip the values. We put the second number first and the first number second. Okay, we made my x value my y value, my y value my x value. All right? That's working with the tables. Now, let's take a look at what some of the graphs look like. And we're going to use this same kind of, same way of thinking, where we're going to take the x value, make my y value making my x value. So, here's my graph. My graph is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have here and here. Yeah. Point 2. Negative 2. So for this graph, it's a parabola, okay? And this point is at negative 4. Negative 4, this is 1, negative 3. This is negative 1, negative 3, negative 2, and 2. Okay? So, I have my points here. What I have to do is I have to go ahead and I have to flip their x and y values. So let's just make a little table of it. So we have my x, my y values. We'll start here. So my x value here is 0, negative 4. I have negative 1, 3. Or sorry, negative 1, negative 3, and then 1, negative 3 are those 2 points. And then negative 2, 0, and then 2, 0. So when I bring them over here and create my f negative 1 x, all I need to do is flip my x and my y values. So x, y, and then I'm going to put my y's first, negative 4, 0, and then negative 3, negative 1, and then negative 3, 1, 0, negative 2, and then 0, 2. Now let's plot this and let's see what an inverse function looks like when we plot it on the graph, okay? So let's start with my negative 4, 0. So I go over 4 and put a dot. And then I have negative 3, negative 1, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, so there's a point here. And then negative 3, positive 1. I go over 3, go up 1. Okay. And then I go 0, negative 2. So I go 0, down 2. And then I go 0, up 2. Okay. I kind of see what this is looking like. Let's take a look when I go ahead and I connect all those dots, what it looks like. So when I connect those dots, you can see here now that my inverse function is no longer, it's still a parabola shape, it's not facing up or down, it's a parabola that's facing on its side, okay? That's the inverse function. So this here is the regular function, here is my inverse function, okay? And we'll get into kind of why we can't keep it at this later, but that's what the inverse of our regular function is. All right. I have one more, but I'm telling you what, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna let you kind of digest this and see, just kind of take a look at what we did here. We found the points, we graphed the points, we created my sideways parabola. I hope this makes sense to you. Please reach out if it doesn't. Get the work done tomorrow, get it into me. That way I give you credit for it. And then we just got one more week. We got next week of new content, and then the final week is gonna be review and that type of thing, okay? I hope you all have a good one. Please reach out if you need anything. Thank you.